Real Madrid versus Alaves. Inside Carlo Ancelotti's tactics, pre-match insights.
There are only 3 league matches left to finish the season. 3 matches before the big Champions League final against Dortmund. How do you approach tomorrow's match keeping the Champions League in mind?
Well, we have to take advantage of using these matches to maintain a good competitive rhythm. Tomorrow's match will be for this purpose. So the players who rested in the match against Granada will play tomorrow. So we will use these 3 remaining matches of the season to keep the rhythm and to keep ourselves motivated in the team.
Have you decided who will play as goalkeeper tomorrow? How do you plan to manage playing time for the goalkeepers in these matches? We understand it's something complicated and different, considering that the Champions League is the main goal, not just for the goalkeepers, but also for you.
As I've said before, our goal is to reach that match with the whole team at their best possible level. Obviously, players who have recently returned like Courtois and Militao need to get into rhythm. And that happens by playing. We will use these matches to give them more minutes on the field compared to the rest of the players. Then a week before the final, we will make the necessary decisions.
Jude Bellingham is just 2 goals away from being the top scorer in the league. Do you think he has the ambition for this goal, considering you placed him in a position on the field that helps him score goals? In case of a penalty, have you agreed with the players to give Jude the penalties so he can achieve this goal?
No. We are not thinking about this. Honestly, we consider that Bellingham has already achieved the goal. He has had an outstanding season, helping the entire team and surprising everyone. So we are not going to ask more from him. The top scorer goal is not something important for us. So, I repeat, he has had a fantastic season in his first year here in the team, and no one expected this.
Do you want Courtois to play the 3 remaining matches of the season? Or do you plan to give minutes to Lunin or Kepa?
We will see about that. This is something we are analyzing. I think Lunin could play one of these matches and also give Kepa the opportunity to play a bit. I know it won't be so easy because there aren't many matches left, but we are considering this.
Yesterday during the celebration, players and fans asked Nacho to stay in the club. Would you like Nacho to stay another season?
As I have said before, Nacho has the decision in his hands, and he can do whatever he wants.
In the press debates, it's said that Lunin has evolved during the season and did a great job in the knockout rounds. But on the other hand, Courtois is perhaps the best goalkeeper in the world. When choosing a goalkeeper for a final, does a coach think about these things or choose who you believe is the best?
I think exactly the same as you think. Lunin has had a fantastic season. And Courtois is the best goalkeeper in the world when he's at his best level. So I think exactly the same.
Excuse me for insisting on the goalkeeper topic.
Wait, let me get comfortable.
Allow me to remind you of a comment you made 2 years ago. Although Mbappe was the subject of the sentence at that time, you said, "Coaches don't always tell the truth in press conferences because there are things that need to be kept to oneself." Is the issue of which goalkeeper to choose for the final one of these topics, where you can't tell the whole truth?
Well, what I just said a few minutes ago is exactly the truth. I think exactly the same as you do, that Lunin has had a fantastic season and has helped us a lot. This is something I have to take into account. But I also have to consider that the best goalkeeper in the world is returning, a goalkeeper who hasn't played for 9 months and needs minutes on the field. There is something very important and that you guys cannot do, and that is that I can talk to the players and can then understand better what is happening with them.
Relax, Carlo.
I am comfortable.
Are you? It's obvious that you are comfortable.
Well, tomorrow we will continue celebrating.
Celebrate for 100 more days. You deserve it. Besides Jude Bellingham, which other players in the squad have surprised you with their performance, and that in August you didn't expect this from them?
It's difficult to answer, but those I knew less about, like Fran Garcia, who has done very well, especially at the beginning of the season. Joselu, of course, Brahim as well. They are players I knew less than the rest, and they have done very well. I also have to recognize that there are players who could have contributed more and to whom I should have given more opportunity. Like Ceballos, who is showing the quality he has in these last few matches. He didn't have the minutes he deserved. Various reasons. Arda Güler is another player who could have played more, especially if he hadn't had the injuries he suffered. The whole squad has positively surprised me because everyone has shown fantastic performance throughout the season.
Recently, a press conference of yours when you were the coach of Bayern has become popular on social media. In that video, you highlighted Xabi Alonso's qualities as a player and said he will be a great coach. In your current squad, with players like Toni Kroos or Luka Modric, do you see any of them having the necessary ingredients to also become a coach and lead Real Madrid or another top club in the future?
I do believe that these players have the quality to be coaches because of the knowledge they have, in addition to the experience, of course. You can become a coach, but then you need the motivation to do this job. Taking into account the difficulties that exist for coaches in this current football moment, I know there are many players who don't want to do it. This is because there is too much responsibility and too much pressure. Players like Carvajal, Nacho, Ceballos, who have a lot of tactical knowledge, Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, all of them can do a coaching job, but only if they have the motivation.
Tomorrow, Rafa Marin returns. We assume you have received reports about the young player regarding his performance on the field. How important is it for a youth academy player to have the opportunity to play with the first team?
I believe it is an important experience to have before coming to Real Madrid. Yes, it is important for all these young players like Rafa Marin, who's doing very well, Blanco, who has had an excellent season, Miguel Gutierrez, who went to Girona and did very well. These are important experiences for them before eventually returning to play with Real Madrid.
We have seen that Eder Militao has played the last few matches, and we assume he will play another one before the final. If the final were tomorrow, would Militao be in the starting lineup?
No, not yet. He still needs to play more. He is evolving very well. In every match I see, he is getting better. He needs to play more, and I hope he is at his best level for the final.
Yesterday, we saw Tchouaméni with a walking stick and a protective boot on his foot. What are the chances of him playing in the Champions League final?
He doesn't have many chances, but he is not ruled out. For playing in the final this week is important, and we will see. Now, his foot doesn't hurt much. I think the problem he has in his foot is different from what he suffered last time, so I don't rule out that he can play in the final.
Tomorrow's match will be the 52nd match of the season. This means this is the 103rd conference, and we always ask you about your footballers, about the match to be played, etc. But I want to ask you, how are you personally?
Well, I am very well. Better than ever. The honeymoon continues, and I am better than ever. I am very happy and excited about what may happen in the future. Now I live press conferences without pressure. You're too kind to me, and that's a problem because I know sooner or later you will throw stones at me, but as long as you don't throw stones at me, I am enjoying.
The honeymoon you are experiencing now, yesterday's celebrations, and tomorrow's celebrations, don't you fear there will be too much relaxation in the squad during these matches that mean nothing more than just training?
I don't think so. I think after the match against Alaves, I will give the players some rest. They will have 3 days off, and then we will focus on preparing for the final. I think the team needs rest. This has been a very demanding season. So as I said, this week we will take advantage of resting, and we will dedicate ourselves for 2 weeks to prepare for the final and cause ourselves the least damage possible.
Yesterday you celebrated the league title, a lot of euphoria and happiness. It seems like it has been an easy and comfortable path for you, but there were difficulties. What was the most complicated moment of the season? What was the most difficult moment that maybe you couldn't share or comment on?
Choosing what was the most difficult moment, I have no doubt. It was when we lost the match in the league, that only match. From that moment on, we were able to understand that there was something we had to change. And this defeat helped us understand that we had to make defensive changes that have benefited us in the following matches. Although that complicated moment was a very short, if I'm honest with you. In general, it has been a straightforward season. And this is thanks to the players, of course.
Muchas gracias. Chao.